NL, please, if you're out there, just give me a sign. Any sign, please just let me know that yellow is a playable color again. Just, I'll settle for anything. Just a crumb. Just, I want to do funny life manipulation shenanigans again, and just please. Let's go! Nami is OP11, a Fist of Divine Speed's new Blue Yellow leader. And if you would like to learn how to play her, here's everything you need to know. Starting off with our leader, Nami is a 4-life, 5k power Blue Yellow leader that reads, your turn, once per turn. This effect can be activated when a card is removed from your or your opponent's life cards. If you have 7 or less cards in your hand, draw 1 card. She also has Dawn ×1 on your opponent's attack. Once per turn, you may trash 1 card from your hand. This leader gains plus 2000 power during this turn. Breaking down that leader effect, if we take a life from our opponent, we can draw a card, sort of matching them in hand advantage. We're generously hard capped at 7 cards, which is super not a problem. Provided we swing 6 with our leader, that Dawn is working for us even on our opponent's turn, giving us a background ability to transmute bricks into 2k counters for the turn. Nami literally has the Midas touch, turning trash cards into gold. But what's the strategy for our deck? Well, we're basically playing a resource management minigame while we use powerful yellow top end cards to burn their life, ensuring we're the only ones holding all the cards in this game. Let's get to talking about cards that help us navigate this deck. Now, there aren't exactly any searcher cards to tech for, and that's due to our inherent draw 1 from leader ability anytime our opponent loses a life. So let's focus on cards that can help carry us to the end game. Starting off with some blasts from the past. Structure Deck 03 Law is a 1-cost no counter 1k power blocker. That's it. Having a chump blocker is huge for us to create space and save cards in hand, but more often than not, we are using this card to help insulate and protect some of our more powerful characters in the event we don't have the cards to protect them. Nojiko from OP03 comes to help her sister out all the way from the East Blue as a 2-cost, 0-power character with 1k counter. Her on-play reads, if your leader is Nami, return up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less to its owner's hand. Nojiko hits a huge list of mid-range characters, Sanji and Pudding, Zoro, and Cavendish, for instance, pushing the opponent's aggression back a turn to help our game plan, running to the end of the game as unscathed as possible. Our new Nami card from OP11 is integral to our game plan. As a 5-cost 6k power blocker with an on-play, if your leader is multicolored, draw 3 cards, place 2 cards from your hand on the top or bottom of your deck in any order. She not only helps to protect our board while being a relevant attacking body, she also helps to filter and manipulate cards from our hand and top of deck. Don't like what's in your hand? Send them to the bottom. Don't like what you drew from the top? Send them to the bottom. Is that next card the perfect card to draw again on this turn to help your hand counter power or help with a cheeky play? Set it up to draw off leader. Truly a great and versatile card that is absolutely made for this deck. We'll go over some fun shenanigan combos with this card later. Flame Split from OP07 is a 1-cost event with main or counter that gives up to one of our leaders or characters plus 1k for the turn. Then checks if our opponent has 2 life or less, and rests up to one of your opponent's 4-cost or lower characters, which will absolutely help us in the removal department, with a tacked on trigger that rests an opponent's 4-cost or less character. It's a great card to flip over in times of great need. Speaking of event removal, 6-cost Gum Red Rock has an activate main, place up to 1 character to the bottom of the owner's deck, trigger, place up to 1 4-cost or lower character to the bottom of the owner's deck. Necessary for large body removal. Gee, I wonder what deck plays out multiple large bodies where running Red Rock is an absolute necessity. Gravity Blade Raging Tiger is a 7-cost main event, place up to 2 characters with a cost of 6 or less on the bottom of their owner's deck. Trigger, place 1 cost 5 to the bottom, which is necessary for wide boards. Once again, looking at you, Luffy. And last on the list for cards that help us facilitate a late gameplay style, our new OP11 event, Gum Red Hawk. A 1-cost event with a main effect, you may rest 3 Dawn. If both players' total life is 5 or more, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with an original cost of 5 or less. And a counter effect up to one of your leaders gets plus 2000 power for the battle. So for 4 total Dawn, we check our life totals and KO a 5. And in every other instance, it's a 3k power counter. If activated after your leader's ability on opponent's turn, you'll be in a winning position to counter out of a 9k swing easily. I'm really digging these multi-use event cards. The way I dig our members who support this channel and get access to all of our videos up to 2 weeks early, as well as emotes and other great perks. We're thankful for your continued support. Okay, I get the point. We're trying to live here, but what are we trying to draw with our ability and dig for? And what are powerful ways we can leverage blue's draw power, yellow's power bodies, and triggers? Starting us off, 4-cost 6k power Cavendish from OP10 has a when attacking, once per turn, draw 2 cards and discard 1 card from your hand, helping us to filter for our endgame pieces and fix and facilitate our hand, all while being a strong 6k mid-range threat. Another strong 4-cost 6k power is Kikanojo. With her on KO trigger, if your opponent's life is 3 or less, place the top card of your deck to the top of your life. Trigger, if your opponent is at 3 or less life, play this card. Notably, both of these cards are bricks in hand that can easily be ditched for our leader's 2k buffing ability, which helps to extend their usefulness if we miss the window to play these cards. These cards help to shore up your defenses while you begin to map out the endgame with cards like Charlotte Linlin from Starter Deck 20, Eustace Kid from OP10, and our new secret rare blue Monkey D. Luffy from OP11. Starting off with Big Mom, she's a 6-cost 7k power body with an on play. You may trash 1 card from your hand. Your opponent chooses one of the following. They may either discard 2 cards from their hand, or they can trash 1 card from the top of their life cards. This Big Mom starts putting the pressure early, and since most people would choose to trash the 1 from life, you get to draw a card with your leader ability given you've met the conditions. If they choose to trash from hand, congrats, you're winning the hand size game for sure. Eustace Kid is an 8-cost 9k power with an on play that allows us to rest his character to trash up to 1 card from the top of your opponent's life cards. Then, at the end of your turn, if your opponent has 2 or less life cards, draw 1 card and discard 1 card from your hand. Both parts of this ability make it a shoe-in for Nami, as they both help facilitate our game plan. Draw 1 card from when our opponent loses a life card, then at the end of the turn, fix our hand by drawing another card and discarding from hand, ensuring we are well prepared to defend this pseudo-blocker rested kid, or our own face. And finally, Monkey D. Luffy is an 8-cost 8k rusher that has when attacking. You can discard 1 card from your hand, return up to 1 character with a cost of 4 or less to the owner's hand, then grant up to 1 rested Dawn to our leader or 1 character. This card was almost certainly made for this deck, as we can return 2ks we ended up triggering from life or playing outright, or more appropriately, we can target an opponent's blocker so our attack connects. And giving the 1 Dawn to Nami helps us with our leader effect on opponent's turn, and ultimately makes this character a 7-cost. And finally, let's take a look at what 2Ks and tech pieces we'll be considering for this deck. So at this point, you'll notice we have no searchers. So we're free to run the gamut of impactful 2K counters as freely as we like. Let's take a look at Zeus from OP11, a new 2-cost 2k power on play. You can add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life to your hand. KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. Remember what I said about mid-range target removal being good for us? Yeah, this is good for us, because even if our opponent doesn't let us hit Sag, we still draw a card from one of our life cards, leaving the life pile. 2-cost 3k power Sanji from OP03 has a Dawn ×2 when attacking ability that allows us to add 1 card from the top or bottom of our life, then add 1 card from the top of our deck to the top of our life. If we had played this a turn before, played out 5-cost blocker Nami to search our top deck and arrange it so that we put a Kikanojo to the top of our life with a Sanji ability, then I dare say that we are cooking at levels only seen on the Baratier. Personally, I like Satori from OP05. Pretty simple, 5-cost, 5k power, trigger, you may trash 1 card from hand and play this card. Hiyori from OP06 is also good for setup. As a 2-cost 0-power body, her on-play allows her to put the top or bottom card of our life into our hand, then put up to 1 card from your hand to the top of your life. So we can be really cheeky and cram Kikanojo, Red Rock, or Gravity Blade as the card that triggers next to put some roadblocks for our opponent, while also drawing off leader. It's an excellent way to trigger Nami's ability on turn 1 when you're going second. As for tech pieces, Marshall D. Teach leaves his Doflamingo spot and finds a new home in this deck. As a 2-cost 3k power, his activate main allows us to place a card at the top of our deck and attach up to 2 rested Dawn to our leader or character. This is important since we often find ourselves tapped out of Dawn, which isn't ideal considering one of the strongest abilities of this leader requires Dawn attachment. Teach fixes that, and we're not really scared of placing cards back to the top of our deck since we'll more than likely draw back into it off a 7k leader swing if we haven't already after tapping out for an 8-cost kid or a 6-cost law. And the final tech piece is of course Charlotte Pudding, a 4-cost 4k power on play your opponent shuffles their hand into their deck and draws 5 cards. Remember that fun, cheeky Nami 5-cost blocker play I hinted at earlier? Playing 5-cost blocker Nami and setting up the top of your deck so the next draw off of leader ability is Charlotte Pudding. We take a crack at their life, and maybe they take it and go to 6 to 7 cards in hand. Imagine, they have a 5-cost Cavendish on the field that GY Law played on curve. We gotta get rid of that, so we play Nojiko, bounce them back into hand, and wham! Charlotte Pudding them, hopefully taking away that Cavendish for a few more turns. The applications are great and many, and tempo disruption is a hard thing to pilot out of in one piece. So yeah, we definitely run this card. Overall, this deck is an amalgamation of a bunch of good yellow and blue cards. The deck's identity isn't really tied down to any one subtype, but it's more of in service for an overall strategy. Eastern meta has had access to some cards that switch up the playstyles of this deck from region to region, but ultimately it's the same. Stay alive, have a leader body they must commit Dawn into, and stay healthy. Nami is an incredibly tanky deck that can afford to run more bricks and 1k counters while playing down bodies that are hard to respond to. So what beats this deck? Nami will have an easier time into decks that want to mid-range her and have no access to removal. It's fairly decent in the GP Luffy and GY Law matchup by virtue of it staying at a 7k body and forcing both decks to commit into swinging on board, while having their life burned away and their perfectly sculpted hands disrupted by Pudding. But this deck hard suffers into Lucci removal and Blackbeard on-play cancellation. Every single impactful body in this deck has an on-play, and Blackbeard zazzes at that, while you, not having access to multiple on-play body cards, leaves you susceptible to easy Lucci removal.
Producer wants to talk. Give me this shit. Hey, so I've actually played a lot of this leader. So I want to talk about the really cool thing as someone that played a lot of mid-range in Magic, which is that you can build this leader a bajillion in 5 ways. You can play a hard control where you commit little to no bodies to the board. You can play blue, yellow supernovas. You can play tempo blue, yellow, which is a lot of what Luke talked about. All of them are valid. All of them are good for different strategies, and this leader will persistently be good as it moves on. But Luke, where can they start?
And as always, here are a couple of deck lists to get you started. This deck won a store battle going 5-0 in Spain, while this is a deck of my own making. And if you're looking for more leader guides or more fun One Piece content, check out the channel and subscribe.